Let's make history. We've been speaking lately about the Nuyorican movement and the Ports Cafe. And the founders, Miguel Algarin, Pedro Pietri, who we covered already. If you haven't seen those, you definitely want to check those out immediately. Today we're going to talk about the third founder. There were others as well. These were the main three. And that's Miguel Piñero, who was a poet and a playwright. And it was really his success with one of his famous plays, which we'll talk about, that catapulted the Nuyorican Cafe into a landmark and a cultural powerhouse in Nuyorican culture. So, Miguel Piñero was born in the Gurabo section of Puerto Rico, which is in the northeast section of the island, not far from San Juan, and it's actually part of the greater San Juan Metropolitan area. And his parents moved to New York City when he was 4 years old. He had 4 other siblings, and his father scrammed, and he was raised by his single mother, who was also on welfare. He got involved in crime at 11 years old, joined a gang, and spent time in juvenile correctional facilities at the ripe age of 11. Then in his mid-20s, he found himself in Sing Sing, the infamous Sing Sing prison in upstate New York. So as he was serving time for armed robbery in Sing Sing, there was a guy, Marvin Felix Camillo, and he ran this writer's workshop, and they had a poetry contest. And Piñero was like, he just did it for the hell of it. And he wound up winning the contest. So he continued to write and eventually produced the play that he was most known for, and that is Short Eyes. Short Eyes is a play about a white child molester who gets locked up in prison in New York City among blacks and Latinos. It's about his time there. And as we know or may not know, that pedophilia, any sort of pedophilia or rape is looked down upon in prison. So you're a target once people find out that you're in there for harming children or young teenagers. So when he was released from Sing Sing in 1973, he performed Short Eyes at the gorgeous Riverside Church, which is a cathedral in Harlem. It did so well that the play was immediately moved to Broadway. And meanwhile, as this is going on, as I stated, he's also helping to launch the Nuyorican Poets Cafe with Miguel Algarin and Pedro Pietri, as well as others, but those are the main 3 players. Short Eyes was made into a book and eventually a film, which Piñero actually played in himself. And I remember as a child, my grandmother had me watch the film Short Eyes with her. As his success skyrocketed, Piñero actually started resorting back to his old ways, started getting back involved in crime. While Short Eyes was being filmed, he actually got arrested for armed robbery and was locked up for a small portion of the filming. He caught 2 charges for armed robbery. Luckily, they didn't stick. They were dismissed for technical reasons. And despite that, he continued to write and act in movies. He was in the cult classic Times Square. That film was released in 1977. Also another cult classic, Fort Apache, that was released in 1981. He played in those, and then he even wrote a couple of episodes for some pretty heavy-hitting sitcoms, such as Kojak, such as Beretta, and Miami Vice. And his poetry was even performed in a recording studio with a live band. And the song was featured on a compilation album called Sugar, Alcohol, and Meat. I don't even know if it's still available. You can buy the album on vinyl online, but he did a piece called New York City Hard Time Blues. I love this song.
New York City. It's called New York City Hard Time Blues. New York City Blues. Big time. Big time New York was hard on me. Big time New York has been hard on me. And these are the Sunday morning blues. A junkie waking up, his bones ache, he's trying to shake the New York City Sunday morning blues. The sun was vomiting itself over all the carbon monoxide Detroit perfume. Yeah, reality was giving me no play. Reality was telling me it was gonna be Sunday 24 hours a whole day. It was gonna be Sunday. It was the reincarnation of the night before, where my ashtray became the cemeteries of all my lost memories.
Unfortunately, in 1988, at 41 years old, Miguel Piñero died. He died of cirrhosis of the liver, which it is said that it was due to complications from AIDS, as Piñero was a drug addict, a heroin addict, as well as openly gay. And in addition to Short Eyes, he is also mostly known for his poem entitled The Lower East Side Poem, where he says, "Just once before I die, I want to climb up on a tenement sky, to dream my lungs out till I cry, then scatter my ashes through the Lower East Side." And upon his passing, his ashes were in fact sprinkled throughout his old neighborhood, Loisaida, that famous cultural center. This is a tragic story indeed when you consider how young he was when he died. He had so much more work that he could have released to the world. He had other works as well. He was a very prolific writer. He had many other works. Definitely look him up when you get a chance. But he left his mark, not just for himself, but for Nuyoricans and Puerto Ricans worldwide. Don't forget to hit that like button, subscribe on YouTube, and leave a comment.